like you. Be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one.
For weeks, the Korean entertainment world has been trembling under the weight of a rumor that simply refuses to disappear. What began as a quiet murmur in a tiny online community, the kind of place only the most dedicated fans dare to explore, has grown into a storm that sweeps through every corner of social media. What once was a simple whisper has mutated into heated wars on X, late-night speculation threads on Weverse, countless reaction videos on YouTube, and eventually, headlines on international entertainment sites. The rumor is bold, borderline unbelievable, and yet so strangely plausible that even the most skeptical observers are beginning to wonder if it might actually be true. Park Jimin and Jungkook are rumored to have secretly filmed Are You Sure? Season 2 together, not in the planning stages, not in production talks, but fully, quietly, and completely shot while the world assumed they were living separate schedules. The first spark that ignited this wildfire was a seemingly ordinary photograph posted by Jimin. A hotel room in Tokyo, dim lighting, a cup of warm tea on a wooden table, and the sprawling glitter of the city at night through the window. Nothing unusual. Nothing inherently suspicious. But longtime watchers of Jikook know better than to take anything at face value. There was something about the image that tugged at familiarity. The curtain pattern, the gentle shadows from the bedside lamp, the faint outline of the furniture. Within minutes, a fan dug up an old photo Jungkook had once posted from his past Japan visit. The similarities weren't just noticeable, they were undeniable. The same layout, the same angle of the night skyline, the same ambience. At first, it could still be chalked up as coincidence. But coincidences involving Jimin and Jungkook have a tendency to pile up, forming patterns fans can't ignore. Only a few hours after Jimin's post, Jungkook uploaded a picture from a cafe, a quiet, cozy corner filled with warm lights and wooden textures. Fans froze. Many recognized it immediately. It looked exactly like one of the locations used during Are You Sure? Season 1. The wooden chairs with curved backs, the frames on the wall, even the soft, diffused lighting were identical. Why, fans wondered, were their posts suddenly echoing specific places tied to their shared past projects? Why were their moods, their environments, their aesthetics syncing so suspiciously well? Questions began to multiply like wildfire. Why did their travel timelines overlap so neatly? Why was Jimin suddenly appearing in the same cities Jungkook vanished to? Why did Big Hit staff respond to direct questions with stiff, overly formal comments that sounded rehearsed? Why did a reputable production insider claim that two extremely close idols had filmed an overseas travel project but refused to identify them? The scandal deepened dramatically after an editor who had previously worked on several HYBE documentaries posted a cryptic blog entry. They described editing hours of footage featuring two idols on a trip abroad, footage allegedly so intimate that entire segments had to be removed for being too personal, too genuine, and not intended for public consumption. The editor wrote about moments where the idols laughed freely, unaware the camera was rolling, called each other casually during breaks, and even fell asleep with their heads leaning together during long car rides. The post never mentioned any names, but the descriptions triggered an instant reaction from fans. The dynamic, the quiet comfort, the unspoken warmth. It matched Jimin and Jungkook too closely to be coincidence. From that moment, fans became unstoppable investigators. They collected every detail, no matter how small. Jimin changed his hairstyle twice in a single week despite having no official schedules. Jungkook appeared wearing a hoodie identical to one Jimin wore in a now-vanished Instagram story. During one of Jungkook's live broadcasts, a faint, barely audible sound, less than a second, seemed to resemble Jimin's laughter. Fans who had listened to Jimin's laugh thousands of times recognized it instantly. Big Hit's silence only made the situation more suspicious. Every time they were asked about member projects, they repeated the same ambiguous phrase, "There is nothing we can confirm at the moment." To those familiar with Korean entertainment, This line often translates into another meaning entirely. Something is happening, but it's too early, or too risky, to reveal. Then, everything escalated when the boldest leak of all surfaced. A source from a partner production company claimed that Jimin and Jungkook quietly traveled to Bali earlier this month. According to the source, they used alternate identities, split their travel routes, and moved with an extremely small production crew to avoid detection. They allegedly filmed a sequence of intimate, healing-themed scenes, cooking together, sharing late-night conversations, morning routine moments, beach walks at dawn, workouts by the water, and quiet reflections under the Bali moonlight. It sounded unmistakably like Are You Sure? But with a deeper, softer, far more personal tone compared to the first season. This wasn't just a follow-up. It was described as an evolution, a more revealing version, one that relied not on scripted activities but on the natural chemistry between them. The insider claimed that the bond between Jimin and Jungkook was impossible to ignore. They shared food casually, bickered playfully over trivial things, teased each other endlessly, and even filmed scenes wrapped together in the same oversized hoodie when the evening breeze turned cold. These were the kinds of behaviors people exhibit only around someone they trust deeply. Yet the strangest part wasn't what they allegedly did, but how perfectly hidden the entire trip was. Not a single fan spotted them. No paparazzi photos emerged. No airport staff leaked anything. It was as if the trip had been erased from reality, conducted with military precision. Fans began to suspect that the production team had deliberately engineered the shoot to be invisible. Speculation exploded once again when a HYBE producer accidentally posted a sunrise photo from what looked like a beachfront villa before deleting it within minutes. Fans had saved the image instantly, as they always do. Upon zooming in, they found something chilling. Two silhouettes reflected faintly on the glass. One tall, one slightly shorter, one with a build like Jungkook's, the other with blonde hair like Jimin's at the time. At that point, the theory had grown too big, too coordinated, too detailed to dismiss as mere fantasy. Every live broadcast from either member seemed to contain hidden messages. Jimin mentioned he was working on something that makes him very happy, smiling with a softness fans call his Jikook smile, the one he shows when talking about or with Jungkook. Jungkook told fans in his last live stream, "There's something I want you to wait for, you'll be surprised." Surprised by what? Fans dissected the line endlessly. It didn't feel like a solo project hint, it felt shared. To the global fandom, all the pieces, the matching timelines, overlapping locations, the synchronized silences, the mysterious travel patterns, formed a puzzle with only one plausible answer. Are you sure? Season 2 is real, completed, and currently in quiet post-production. Rumors suggest HYBE may be waiting for a strategic moment to announce it, possibly after upcoming album cycles or military return schedules stabilize. If the rumors turn out to be true, the release of Season 2 would be more than just entertainment. It would be a cultural earthquake. Jimin and Jungkook's dynamic has been the center of fan fascination for nearly a decade, a mix of affection, tension, admiration, and unspoken emotion that is impossible to recreate. Another season of their travel show would thrust that dynamic back into the spotlight, with every glance, every shared laugh, every quiet moment magnified. But if they truly filmed this secretly, then it reveals something far deeper than the show itself. It suggests trust, the kind of trust built slowly, shaped through years of shared experiences, strengthened despite time apart and endless schedules. If they intentionally chose to create something meaningful together while the world wasn't watching, then Season 2 represents a chapter written by them alone, untouched by outside expectations. For now, all anyone can do is wait. But one thing is certain, if Are You Sure? Season 2 exists, the world is not ready for what Jimin and Jungkook have created. It won't simply be a continuation. It will be a revelation, a new, unfiltered, undeniable chapter in the Jikook story, a story fans have followed heartbeat by heartbeat, moment by moment, year after year. And if this season truly exists, then the world must understand one thing. It isn't Jimin and Jungkook who need to prepare for the reaction. It is the world that needs to catch up, because they have been ready, together, for a very long time.